So here's the thing, gang. If you're in the right place, if you want to organize your workspace and eliminate the darn distractions that are keeping you from making more money. Also, if you're just curious about the 3 massive mistakes that entrepreneurs make, they keep them constantly distracted and constantly suffering with endless to-do lists, then you're definitely in the right place. So I'd like to get started, and I'm really pleased that you're here. And, this is probably the best decision you've made recently, because I'm going to show you how to get it back at least 3 extra hours of every week in productivity. And let's start with logistics real quick. So if you can be so kind, limit your distractions, turn off your beepers, ringers, your cats and dog notifications, grab a pen and a notebook, and stay all the way to the end. You're going to want to do that because you're going to miss an opportunity. And because if you resonate with the advice that I'm giving, you're going to get an invitation to the Get It Gone Formula upcoming training. So let's jump into it and let's get going. 300,000. There are 300,000 items in the average home. Can you believe that? And here's the thing. I don't think that stat takes into account papers. I bet if they took into account all the papers that were in our space, it'd be even more. Right? But 300,000. And so let me ask you a question. Who here has never lost anything? Raise your hand if you've never lost something, right? You never misplaced your keys. You never ran around the house looking for your favorite shoes, or maybe your phone. You never misplaced your phone. I don't think so. Write in chat anything that you did recently lose. I'd love to know what you've lost lately. If you feel like you're constantly losing it, you're not alone, because think about it. If we have 300,000 possessions, then, we're going to lose things. So who's never had any problem finding a document on your computer, or the glasses that were actually on your head? I did that before. Raise your hand if you've never lost anything. You've lost, Angela lost her wallet. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Glasses, phoning glasses. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and mute here. Hold on. See if I can do that again. If you could mute yourself. Hold on, mute all. There we go. Muting everybody. And then you can unmute yourself at any time. But you know what? It's what I thought. We all, or the vast majority of us, are losing things every day, and it costs. It's costing us, right? It's costing us his sanity. It's costing us a lot of things. Research found that we lose up to 9 items every day. That equals almost 200,000 items in an average lifetime, right? Phones, keys, sunglasses, paperwork, computer files, information, our minds. Now, it's kind of a joke, but it just feels like maybe we've lost our minds. But you haven't lost your mind. You've just simply lost control of your business. And when it comes to clutter and disorganization, the average entrepreneur loses 7 hours a week in lost productivity. And the stat that I always use is 4 of those hours are spent searching for missing documents that you know that you own, that you just can't find. Okay. The 7.5 hours a week waste looking for sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. It equals a month. 1 month, a year, almost. It's like 3.5 weeks in lost productivity. Now, let's just say if you're earning 50 grand a year, and we're probably making a little bit more than that, that equals about about $400,000 a year that we're losing in productivity, right? 3842 to be exact. And over the course of a lifetime, we're going to lose a total of 3,680 hours, or 153 days. Who wants to stop wasting time? Because here's the thing, time's finite. A new study that I just found when I was looking at this was Entrepreneur Magazine says the average entrepreneur of all generations, right? The Gen X's, the Gen Z's, all of the boomers especially, they're losing weeks of productivity, actually 1.5 hours a day. 1.5 hours a day not being productive. Wow, it's costing us. So you see that things are disorganized, you see the clutter, you see the mess, you see the files that are mislabeled and stashed in weird places when you finally find them. You see the lack of any type of organization system, and maybe you see those 54,000 emails in your inbox. Yeah. You see yourself trying to find the project you're working on, but you can't remember what you named it or where you put it. You waste 40 minutes looking for it. 40 minutes. That's 40 minutes you could be spending creating a new program, maybe talking to a hot lead, maybe speaking on stage, and probably making more money. Today, I'm going to show you how to get more done in less time using 3 proven strategies. Now, here's the thing. Businesses that don't take the time to create systems, it's been proven they lose 20 to 30% of their revenue annually because their current way of operating isn't efficient as it could be. Now, maybe there's a gap in your business. If you're not feeling the forward momentum that you want to be experiencing or that you deserve, it's probably a lack of systems that are not supporting you in the background. So don't beat yourself up, because it's a common issue for even seasoned and even new businesses, right? But it's easy to create solutions. And once those gaps are filled in, your revenue increases with less effort, and your bottom line increases as well. So imagine what you could do with that income. Now, if you don't know this so far, you haven't gathered, I love systems, right? Systems are the best way to save yourself, your team, yourself, and your brain hours of time every week. And the payoff for creating systems is 1 to 10. Every hour that you spend getting organized saves you 10 hours later. In a recent study, this is the sad thing. They asked if people felt like they were too overworked to focus on their job. 93% said yes. So see, it's easy to be overworked and overloaded when systems are working against you as opposed to for you. Okay, I don't know, I keep muting people, but we're not muting. If you guys could all mute, that'd be fantastic. I'm going to try it one more time. Or we could have people that, here, I'm going to mute everybody. There we go. Okay, for those of you who don't know me, you might be wondering why I'm here and why I'm actually talking about getting organized. So a long, long time ago, I was a U.S. Coast Guard licensed captain. I delivered yachts and I lived out of a duffel bag. And I remember one night I was out to sea, I was on night watch, and I'm looking at this satellite go over, which was completely entrancing. But I was thinking about all the things back in my apartment and realizing that none of them really meant much to me. Didn't really mean much. And so I get back to shore and I purge, because I had the clarity of thought to know that nothing really mattered. Flash forward a few years after I got off to sea, I started being a travel writer, a little bit wanderlusty from that time. And I was living out of a suitcase, and I was on the road 42 weeks a year. Same thing. I had a suitcase. I had everything I needed. I'd go back when I got back to my apartment, I'd purge, because I realized none of it even meant anything. I was perfectly fine just with the suitcase. So that's what happened to me. Now, I had no idea at that time what a pro organizer was. No one did. That was way before Marie Kondo or the shows like Clean Sweep or Hoarders or anything like that. So fast forward a few years later, I was in a prayer group and I met this woman. She was a homeopathic doctor who had to take time off because she had cancer. We became really good friends. And one day I went to her house and she was surrounded by all this stuff. And I'm like, girlfriend, you got to clear out some of this stuff or you're never going to heal. And so I started helping her purge, and I was good at it. So I started a business as a professional organizing and image consultancy here in San Diego almost 20 years ago. Actually, it was 20 years ago. And at that time, I was in the inaugural class of board certified professional organizers, the first ones in the world. And I passed a 4-hour exam. I had a 52 curriculum and all that good stuff. And now I sit on the board exam review committee, and I actually craft the questions for the meeting and evaluate the metrics. Okay, I'm going to mute. There we go. I think I can mute. Yeah, perfect. So I continue my training and I continue accruing CEUs, and I've been training forever, and I've written a few books. And basically, you know, I was really blessed early in my career that Good Morning America actually picked me up as a successful woman startup business. After that, all the magazines, Oprah and Real Simple and Martha Stewart and all that picked me up and started featuring my tips. That's enough about me. I'm just saying that if you're like me, if you're going to take advice, you want to make sure that you're taking advice from an expert. Way more enough about me. Now, after spending 20 years helping clients get organized, I know for a fact that you can do this if you stop chasing squirrels, if you help work on your follow-up technique, and you eliminate the piles, you know, those sneaky, nasty piles that might be gathering in your workspace right now. Now, there seems to be a recurring theme, and I see 3 massive mistakes that happen over and over and over that make my clients feel overwhelmed and overworked. The first mistake is broken or duplicated systems. Systems that are in the back fighting against each other, half-baked, so to speak. They're working, but they're not really working, or maybe they're competing against another system that you forgot was already there. So instead of supporting you, they're actually fighting against you. The second mistake I see all the time is lack of follow-up. Okay, we all have really good intentions and we intend to connect and deliver on what we promise. And perhaps there's a huge opportunity, then we go silent. Yeah, lack of follow-up. And the largest culprit of all is the productivity vampire of all vampires are paper piles. It's impossible to think clearly when you're surrounded by papers or piles because they silently scream at you about things left undone. So we're going to take some time to explore each of these in more detail. Broken or duplicated systems. This comes from chasing squirrels, right? So it's like squirrel, oh, I'm going to add that. Oh, I'm going to add that, right? So we suffer unnecessarily from these half-baked systems and they sabotage our productivity. Take, for instance, we have 2 calendars. One's on the wall, one's in our phone, maybe one's in our computer, but none of them are talking together or syncing. That's a half-baked system, and that's something that really causes chaos. Or some have to-do lists for their to-do lists. Yeah, raise your hand in chat. Raise your hand if you have a to-do list for your to-do list, so that you can summarize all the to-dos that you have to do. Did you know 41% of your to-dos only get done anyhow? So give yourself a break on that. The number one common theme I see all the time is no set place for keeping client records or client notes, okay? And you could have multiple notes scattered about for your current projects that are limited to, like, maybe you have a note here on your desktop, maybe you have a note in Evernote, maybe you have a note in Google Drive, maybe you have a note on your hard drive, but none of them are talking to each other and you don't know where you save that note, right? So that's a small example of systems that aren't really working together to support you. Another challenge, multiple databases. I have clients who have people on their phone, they have people on their computer, they have their little address book. None of them are synced together and they can't figure out why they can't find Jane to call her because it's not synced, right? And the situation wastes money. It wastes a lot of time, hours searching for things, numbers, emails, papers that we need to get back with. That's an example of duplicated or broken system. Taking the time to set up your systems will save you hours. It takes time to make time, right? So Abe Lincoln, my favorite dude, said it best. He said, for every hour of preparation, I save 3 hours in perspiration. And think about this, time is finite. Once the time's gone, it's gone, right? So it pays to take time to save time. According to Michael Gerber, who's one of my clients, he actually hired me to help him get organized. He's the author of the E-Myth. He said, if you truly want to grow your business, systems are the key to growth. So setting up good systems always take time, but time's an investment in you, right? Every minute you spend helping yourself get organized is an investment in you and your business. My super cool client, Elisa, is a good example. She hired me because she didn't have enough time to guilt-free take weekends off. She really wanted weekends off. She was a successful image consultant. She owned a few rental properties. She was so busy that she was neglecting her friends, and her friends were actually like, you're stuck up. I don't see you anymore. Sound familiar, right? She really wanted to take, especially Saturdays off, so she could go to brunch. Her favorite thing was brunch, pampering brunches with her girlfriends. Let's just relax and have fun. So we worked together to see why she was so stretched. And we created a new system that grouped all of her like activities together and set up a time management system. Now that she has the system in place, she takes every weekend off. Yeah. And she has a lot of friends. And she has Sunday off to socialize, Sunday off for her family, Saturday off for herself to socialize and have friends. This is what happens when you take the time to get organized and you actually step back from your business and you're like, okay, why am I overworked, overloaded, stressed out? Like Alyssa figured it out. We worked it together. Now she has weekends off. So Liz is a good case in point for what doing it does for you. And Brian Tracy said it this way: every minute you spend planning saves 10 minutes in execution. This gives you 1,000% return on energy. I say to every one of my clients, give me an hour, I'm going to give you 10 back, guaranteed. It's just what happens. I see it. So let's talk about follow-up. follow-up is another place that people really fall down in business. And it's the easiest place to make more instant money is having a good follow-up system. Because 9 out of 10 people don't follow up when they say they're going to do it. They don't do what they say they're going to do. You know, take for instance, maybe you met someone and you just met a contact and they said, hey, you need to meet this person and I'll introduce you. And they give you your email, but you get back to your office and you don't follow up. You don't have a system to remember to call this person. And it wasn't up to them to follow up with you, right? They're doing you the good deed. So what happens then? Nothing. Now, let me tell you about another one of my clients, Dave. Dave was a real estate investor. And when I met him, he hired me to come in and help him get his contacts organized. And I show up and he has all these little rubber banded piles of business cards on his desk. And I'm like, Dave, this is very interesting. What kind of organizing process do you have going on here? And he said, well, I have real estate in Arizona. I have it in Texas. I have some in Utah and of course here in California. And I have them rubber banded by state. And I said, okay, Dave, tell me about that last person. You were telling me about this lady you met, this realtor in Arizona. Can you find her card? He goes, pulls out the Arizona, stack all confidently. And he's going through and he goes, oh, it could be her. Or maybe it was her. So do you see why this doesn't work? So he wasted so much time creating this little system. He couldn't find Jane when he needed her. And then after that, we created a categorized database that was syncing together with all of his instruments. So when he was in Arizona, he could find Jane because she was categorized as Arizona. And guess what? There were notes about Jane in the data. So he could actually call Jane and know what he wanted to talk to her about. And he was always able to connect and make more money and make more deals. And do you see how half-baked systems like Dave had at the beginning can cost him a lot of money? And it's wasted opportunities, right? So a lack of system following up is probably the biggest immediately sucking thing that's taking money out of your business. If you were organized and spent a little time and only increased your follow-up by 20%, that 20% would give you 20% more money in your bank. Everyone needs a good follow-up system and an organized, categorized database. So the easiest way that you can build a business, especially as an entrepreneur, is to get a handle on your contact database and follow up. Not following up is the number one mistake that I see that just sucks money right away from your business. Okay, now that we're getting back to networking, this all kind of ties together. Like we're going to events, we need to have a system to track the contacts. So let's say you go to one of the meetings and someone hands you a card, right? And hopefully when you're exchanging cards, you're kind of making a little note or somehow scribbling what you're supposed to be doing with this person. But what happens is sometimes they get into sometimes you put them in the phone, sometimes it's on a card, and hey, a week goes by and you say, where did I put that? And then you're looking for the card with the star on it. I remember I used to do this. Do you have any business cards that have stars? It's like, this is a completely influential person. I need to follow up with this person. So you star it. But then a week or a month goes by and you don't remember what the star was for or what you were supposed to do. Does this sound familiar to anybody? Write in chat if you say, yes, I've had this happen to me, because I had it happen to me, right? And so the thing is, you have a little star, you don't know what you were supposed to do, and then you're too embarrassed to call them because quite honestly, you don't remember what you were supposed to do, right? Yeah, too embarrassed. And what happens? A big fat nothing. So raise your hand or put in chat if you've ever found a card with a star on it. I know I used to have them all the time. And the thing is, a star doesn't mean a lot, except for it means I'm supposed to be doing something, but I don't know what it's supposed to do. So if this has happened, it means there's no organization around what you're doing at all. And that's just what happens with us, with follow-up, with databases that don't work, that are screaming at us. But I want to talk about the biggest energy zapping of our money and our energy and our mind and our stress are, ready? Paper piles. Yeah. Stay with me, because piles are the number one thing that is preventing us from making more money. And when you understand the potential to wreak havoc, you're going to realize that it's one of those insidious things that's actually affecting almost every part of your business. Paper piles are the biggest mistake that are robbing you of time, money in your pocket, and emotional well-being. Because guess what? Time is finite. Once it's gone, it's gone. And they zap the energy right out of you. Piles will silently scream at you of things left undone. This makes me think of my client, Debbie. She was a really successful financial planner. And, but she, at the time that I met her, she was like, you know, the #1 procrastinator and piler of paper, right? When she called me in to help, she had overflowing papers on her desk. This is actually her in the picture. She said, take my picture. And she knew that she wanted to get started, but she didn't know how to start. She was a full-time mom and she worked from home. And she had a very successful business, but what would happen is she'd be in the process of doing something. Her kid would come running in the door saying, Mom, I need this, I need that, I need the other. Her closets in her office was so disorganized, she couldn't find the tool. So she'd drop everything, being a really good mom. She'd run out to Staples or she'd run out to some store and she'd come back with the thing for her kid. And what happened? She lost half a day of productivity. When she got back to the office, she'd already zapped 2 to 3 hours out of her life. And she didn't really know what to doing, you know, where she left, because she was in, again, reaction mode, trying to help her kiddos. So clutter trickles down. Do you see how it trickles down into kind of every aspect of your life? And especially her piles, when she got back, her stuff was in such disarray. She didn't know where she wanted to pick back up again, right? So clutter affects everything, let me tell you, and paper piles affects every part of your life. In fact, my colleague, Peter Walsh, wrote a book about how clutter affects weight. And he wrote the book with the title, Does This Clutter Make My Butt Look Fat? We actually correlated that clutter and weight have a definite synergy together. So all I'm saying is if you want to drop a few pounds, drop a few pounds of your clutter and watch what happens. Back to statistics. If you know that you're wasting 1 month or 4 weeks every year searching for stuff, wouldn't you rather have that time back to take a vacation? Like, what would that look like if you could spend that time making more sales or save extra money towards retirement? How does that look for you? I know, honestly, I'd rather have that, right? So there's many more symptoms that are around piles. It's stagnant energy, right? Piles to me are symbols of things left undone. And we suffer when we glance over at them because it's like, oh, okay, they're silently screaming at us. We're zapped because they're a reminder of stuff that we haven't done that's constantly reminding us of, I got to do this, got to do that. What is that I'm doing? I don't know. It's just some pile somewhere, right? So one of my clients said it really succinctly, and I want to quote her because she just really said it how it is. She goes, I feel like I shuffle and shuffle and shuffle. I'm constantly shuffling paper, and I'd love to just get rid of it and touch it once. She went on to say, I also have way too many notebooks. This is a common thing. I write things down. I can't find the thing in the notebook when I can't find the notebook that I wrote it in, let alone the page I wrote it on. I'm constantly searching for information that I need instead of finishing my projects. Does this sound familiar to anybody? Yeah. Anybody familiar? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Going through years of mileage paperwork. Yep. There you go. I get it. So when facing piles, it's really normal to feel out of control because they're hard to control. I'm just telling you, papers always end up having babies. They're like bunny rabbits. They multiply too far. When they multiply too far, they get stuffed in drawers. Perhaps you take that pile and you throw it in a bag and you throw it in your closet. And guess what? In the closet, they create even more bunnies. Guess what kind? Dust bunnies. I know, been there, done that. So you don't want piles because they will silently build onto each other without any effort from yourself. They're the great distractor. So take, for instance, how many times have you been distracted right now from what I'm talking about by looking over at something that was piled in your office? Yeah, I know it's a super common scenario. So you're on the phone, you're talking to somebody and you're present with them, like you're being present. And then you look over and you see a Post-it note and it's like, oh, didn't do that. And then you're off track with the client. You're no longer present. And now your mind is spinning and you're saying, oh, I need to do that. I need to do that. And you come back to the conversation. You don't even know where you left off. That random piece of paper takes your time and attention away from the things that are important, right? It makes your brain sort of go into ADD. And as someone that experiences ADD myself, that's the last thing I need to happen, right? And I think that actually right now, I think that most entrepreneurs have ADD and are experiencing it because we have so many things coming at us all at once now. And so the way to not trigger that ADD is to protect your environment and protect your mind from the piles that are stacking up. You know, if you're constantly seeing things that are not done, you're distractible. So creating a new system to control your life is much easier if you learn how to handle things the right way, right? Handle them once, handle them the right way, like my client said she wanted to do. Making a working system helps you move past procrastination analysis, right? One of my clients complained, I know what I should be doing, but I just don't do it. I have a feeling of defeat and I just don't know where to start. I want to do things the right way, but I don't know what the right way is. No one ever taught me how to deal with these papers. And that's the thing, until I became a certified paper flow specialist, I had no idea what to do with papers because papers just come into our life 6 days a week. That's from the mailman. That's not even from us. And we don't have a system to do anything with them. So if you suffer from paper overwhelm, you probably have a few other bottleneck spaces in your life, bottlenecked areas in your workspace that impede your flow. Because when things get too cluttered, then you start shuffling things around. And the huge challenge is this: when you shuffle, then you become even more overwhelmed because you're not sure where you put the last thing that you shuffled around. Or you know where it is, and maybe it's inside your closet silently screaming at you, or in the corner stacked up, right? These reminders stop your flow. They stop your productivity. And most importantly, for me, they stop my creative thinking, right? And when we create order, then we have creativity, we have flow, and we're all creators. And the more creativity and the more flow we have going, the more money that will flow into our life. After working with thousands of clients over 20 years, I know what's going on here. Clients say, my piles are fine. I'm a professional piler. I know where everything is, and I don't want to create a system, but there's more going here on than that, right? So if you can relate to this, you might be spending a lot of your energy remembering where everything is, and that's your new normal. Your new normal is literally taking money out of your pocket, and it's taken 3 hours from each day, and it creates snowball effect. Take, for instance, one large snowball effect is perhaps you're filing a tax extension every year. Now, I could almost guarantee that a large percentage of people who are listening to this in this webinar right now have not yet submitted your taxes. You've waited, you're procrastinated because your receipts are not organized. I'm just taking a guess here. And I know enough about clients to know that if you got paper pile issues, it's probably affecting you right there with your taxes. And if you haven't done your taxes yet, I'm going to tell you, you're probably not paying attention to all your monthly expenses as well. Most likely there's money you should be paying out that you probably shouldn't be paying out every month. In fact, one of my clients hired me after a talk because she discovered she had paid $42,000 too much in taxes. Yeah. And she said it was due to her level of disorganization. I don't want this to be you. I just don't. So picture this for yourself. This is the point where you're going to make a critical decision. It's the most important decision you might ever make that will change the way that you'll do business. It will actually buy you back a month every year, and it will stop you from being overwhelmed and give you more time to start dreaming and creating and getting more energy, right? So not only are you going to feel more productive and accomplished, it'll actually give you access to a continual basis to your passion, and most importantly, receiving more money in your life. This is the moment where you're going to make the decision. So here's the question. Are you ready to shift your business? Are you ready to give yourself the luxury of 4 extra weeks a year to experience ease and flow in every aspect of your business and find the information that you need immediately and quickly, right? So that you feel a sense of accomplishment at the end of each day, as opposed to saying, I wonder what I did today. Because this is the decision right now. And I know for some of you, it's a solid yes. After 20 years of helping clients and implementing these tactics myself personally, who's highly distractible, by the way, I've discovered that is a super simple way and definitely possible to create more time, get more organized, and put systems into place. I know the easiest, simplest step-by-step process that will give you more freedom and help you generate more income. I created a program for people just like you in your exact situation. And what I talked about at the experience, things you might be experiencing is, maybe 1, 2, or 3 of these challenges. I created a program just like you for who are passionate, creative, who want to spend more time helping people instead of looking for things, and want to spend more time sleeping soundly. I can't tell you how many people of my clients, when they start out saying, I don't sleep at night, right? I'm checking off things that are left undone, who want to spend more time waking up energized because you actually got some sleep and have more time for fun things. I created a program for you that overcomes every single one of those 3 most organized challenges, right? Step by step. So I'm going to introduce the Get It Gone formula. For those of you who are ready to buy back time, put more systems in place in the easiest way, the simplest step-by-step way, I invite you to stay with me now because I'm going to show you just how to do that. The Get It Gone formula is this. At the end of the program, you're going to have an actual paper flow system. Your paper is going to flow in and flow out. You're going to say goodbye to overwhelm, reduce your procrastination analysis, and get rid of that analysis paralysis, right? I know we've all been there, because you're going to be able to find any piece of paper you need quickly and instantly within 30 seconds. You're going to be able to file your taxes every time on year with less stress. You're going to know where to put things instead of piling them, and you'll be able to quickly file instead of pile. And guess what? Follow-up's much easier because your to-do list is easily found and maintained, and you wake up each day knowing exactly what to do with total clarity about the steps you need to take to grow your business. Like this client, let me just share with you one person who went through this course. She said, this is what she said. Kathy did the impossible, took my overstuffed, disorganized file system, yeah, right, and turned it into a streamlined, workable, friendly tool. I love to find my papers away because I know where they go and I know how to find them. Kathy knew just what I need to keep and what to throw away. Do you know how liberating that is? The bottom line is the more organized and the more efficient you are, and that adds up, is well worth the investment. And the cool thing is you only have to do it once. Once the system's built, it's put into place. And here's something else to think about, just about this particular client, Mindy. She sent me a love note after the fires. We have to flee for fires a lot here in California. She goes, here's something to think about. When it came to flee from the fires, I ran out the door quickly. I knew what boxes to take, and there's no price tag you can put on that. She wrote that shortly after she evacuated from the fires last time. So here's how it works. There's 6 live classes that happen once a week for 6 weeks. It's small group coaching sessions, and every week I have celebrations. And actually, I give prizes and that kind of thing. And you'll have direct access to me as we go through this program. There'll be lessons, there'll be questions and answers. And if for some reason you can't make one of the classes, there's recording that you can go back to. Oftentimes people go to the classes and then watch the recordings anyhow. There's online radio videos that supplement the training and that you can watch on your own schedule at your own leisure. They're on demand and they reside inside the student portal. So you'll also receive a complete filing system that's shipped directly to you. It's easy to assemble and is customizable. Okay, there's templates, there's everything set up so that you can easily file your papers. They're color coded, they're alpha. This system, what I really like about it is it's color coded and alpha. And those are the 2 ways that we're taught in school to remember things, is through color and through alphabetical. So it's set up that way. You're also going to receive a training manual that has in-depth instructions about the whole entire course with easy to follow guidance. And it's printable, or you can also view it online if you don't want to print it or save that document on your computer. And you'll also receive a personally autographed book from me to you, shipped directly to your home. Now, the student portal is cool. This gives you access to everything 24/7. You can access and download all your bonuses. You can access the training. It has a calendar that you can just sync right to your calendar. And the entire course is saved and available for you to access anytime you want. You can even upload your reference materials and the notes that you made into your portal so that it's all right there. And it's lifetime access, right? As I mentioned, every single class is recorded. And so there's on-demand replays. You can access it for life and you can access it 24/7. And I know for some of you that are in, different time zones, that's important. And, you can simply refresh, rewatch, review anytime you want after each of the classes. You're going to learn the 5-step strategy that includes a system to file your papers away for life. Once a system built, it's pretty much built for life. You don't have to change anything. Okay, it's easy to follow, and it's been proven for 20 years. You transfer, and then this is a cool thing. You can transfer those skills into your digital document organizing, right? And you'll never waste time again. The full value of this program is $3,928 when you combine everything together. And it'll also give you an extra month of income. So every year from now on, you're going to save 1 month in productivity simply from being more organized. But here it is for you because you're on the call. It's only $9.97 when you use the coupon code GONE. It sells for $14.97, but with the code GONE, you can get it for $9.97. And if you want to do a couple payments, we can work that out for you as well. So that's what the program is. It runs for 6 weeks. So I created this course specifically for you. I know what you're going through because I've been doing this for so long. If you're experiencing the challenge of not enough time, your finances are not flowing, you're always running behind, you probably need to tackle these issues. But you might not be sure how to do it. Like that's the number one thing that say, I don't know, I want to do it, but I don't know how, right? So being an organizer, this is a strategy, and this is completely set up simple, step by step. Anybody can do it. For those of you that are still with me, I know you're ready to make a decision. I know you're ready to decide. I know you're ready to make a plan, and I keep hearing from all these people who can't sleep well. I'd like to be able to sleep well, make more money, get rid of overwhelm, have a direction in your business, and have goals that are being met, right? And believe me when I say this, because it's not my first rodeo, it all comes down to papers and piles. Yeah. If you're still on the fence when you're thinking about this, I have a 100% guarantee, okay? So it's a risk-free decision. If by the end of the first 2 weeks you show up and you feel like you're not going to save hours and you just don't like the implementation, I'll give you 100% of your money back. And you can keep all the bonuses. You don't have to ship them back to me because I firmly stand behind the integrity of the Get It Gone formula. This is the 4th time that I've run this program. I know it works and I want to protect my reputation in the industry. So here's the deal. If for any reason you feel like it's just not happening in the first couple of weeks, just let me know, send in the work that you've done, and you'll get no hassle money back guarantee. So with this system, you also have a lifelong immediate understanding of what to do with every single piece of paper in your life. Any paper that comes into your life, you're going to know one of the 5 categories that it is and whether you need it or not. You'll have a place for your papers to land, a place for your papers to live, and most importantly, an exit strategy, right? You get them gone. That's why I called it the Get It Gone formula. It actually teaches you how and when to get rid of the papers that you no longer need. And that's the kicker of the whole system, right? So it's a simple way to get clarity, get more done, have less stress, and be on top of your game. And once you know how to organize your papers, you're going to know how to organize your digital documents as well, right? Your computer files. So it's going to ripple effect into that area as well. And you're going to walk into your office feeling at ease and flow, and you're going to know what's going on. So my calendar is really loaded right now, like 95% full. And the reason I'm doing this is I want everyone to have the opportunity to deal with getting organized, to deal with their paper piles, to have systems so they can thrive with less clutter and more clarity. The reason this course lasts 6 weeks is, guess what? It takes 6 weeks to change your habits. Yeah, 6 weeks to change your habits. So I'm serious about helping you and have the thing that sticks. Part of my code of ethics is that I have to transfer skills. Okay, I have to transfer skills to my client or I've broken my code of ethics, right? As a board certified professional organizer. So here's the thing. If you wanted to hire me one-on-one, it could cost you easily 10 to 15 grand to do every single thing in this course that the course provides. And instead of paying that, I will walk you easily, simply through the process in the program. Now, if you were to hire me to do this from start to finish, it would cost about 15 grand. And I've had clients pay that and have me in their entire office from start to finish, redo their database, literally fix all their piles and organize them. And I have room for 5 more of you if you want to do the one-on-ones, no problem. But if you want to stay within budget and you want to, do it quickly with a class, with a 6-week period, you can get it for this price. So I'm going to walk you through the fundamentals, how to create your action system. That's the papers that are in action right now that you need to find very quickly. How to organize your receipts for taxes, how to simplify and file the rest of those papers, and then how to create a simple filing landscape within your actual workspace, and then how to maintain your system in less than 5 minutes a day. So you can either take the class or you can hire me and fly me in. Either way, it doesn't matter. I just want whatever works for you to have a system in place that's going to support you for the rest of your time as an entrepreneur. It's a super simple format. It's a live 6-week course. It's 1 hour a week. Reinhard, to answer your question, it starts next week, same time, same bat channel, right here and now, right? Starts next week. There's a new module every single week with easy to implement strategies, step by step. So it's very consumable. There's live companion handouts with a workbook to reference that walks you through it. You get to customize your new filing system. It's already kind of built, and then you can customize and create your own custom labels that you need. It literally outlines every step of the process, and you're with me step by step by step, every step of the way, piece by piece of paper. 24 access to the recordings. And guess what? I'm on Voxer. You can reach out to me on Voxer during the whole course. Ask me questions. I'll answer you right back in real time, typically, unless it's in the middle of the night. But basically, it's real quick and easy to do this. Also, I have prizes. I give out gift cards all throughout the training for people who are just cranking it up and doing stuff. So by the end of it, you're going to put hours back into your schedule and money back into your pocket. And I'm giving you my 5-step strategy that's going to last for you forever. So at this point, I know the big question is, how much time is this going to take, right? How much time, Kat? So I want to be 100% honest, okay? If you have a desk in an office that's loaded with papers and you can't even find your mouse, I'm not going to say, hey, we're going to get it done in an hour. No, it's not going to happen. The only way that could be is if we bring in a bulldozer and bulldoze it down. That's the only way it's going to happen. So I'm asking you, do you want to do it only once and the right way and take the time to do it? Or do you want to just struggle for the rest of your life, right? Once it's done, it's done. The Get It formula will show you how to do it right. And it accelerates at a later date. It just accelerates with more money, more time, more possibilities, more space for new clients. It's just what happens. Your business accelerates after the system's put into place. Remember when I said that literally you give me an hour, I give you 10? You give me 6 hours, I'm going to give you 60. Absolutely, positively. I see it happens every time. So for those of you who are ready to go, I have some bonuses. The first 5 people that take action on this are going to get 30 minutes with me. I can jumpstart your process, or you can use my 30 minutes with me after you've done a few of the trainings. Either way, the first 5 get the first 30-minute jumpstart session. And it's a one-on-one private session, right? So I'll know the state of your office and your affairs and where you can start right away for the first 5 people that opt into this. So you can go to getitgoneformula.com. Your first bonus is to take control of your time checklist. And this bonus is going to help you get clear on what you should be doing, and most importantly, what you shouldn't be doing with your time. And you'll get this download right away. The next bonus is a free report called Office Organizing. Now, this special report gives you multiple organizing modalities: how to organize your home office workspace, if maybe you have an outside office workspace, how to keep your personal life separated from your business. That's kind of important. How to set up a supplies cabinet so you can find everything, and plus 11 ways to master your schedule. The third bonus is an autographed copy of my book. I'm going to autograph the book and I'm going to ship it to you with your Freedom Filer kit. And there's 10 chapters in this book, and it covers organizing every aspect of your small business, from databases, time management, follow-up, making good first impression, and it's going to be shipped directly to you. Your fourth bonus is a cool one that I just added. I have the Get It Done Power Hour, which is open office hours. And this is so much fun. It's an accountability process. We meet 2 hours a month and you get a month of this free. So every hour, people come in, state their intentions, and I hold them accountable and I give them support that they need to continue through with their process. That's a value of $97. It's $97 a month and you get a month free. We meet live twice every month. So you get me again for 2 more hours on top of the hours you're already getting with me through the process of the class. Your 5th bonus is the Freedom Filer Label System, right? This is a system you're going to use to get your files put in together, color-coded, alpha, and all that good stuff. And I think it's the best filing system I've ever seen in my life. I've been using it for 20 years with my clients. I have corporations on it like Sempra Energy, Port of San Diego, Ohio Masonic Home. I have small businesses with offices and staff. I have home-based entrepreneurs. I have retirees. It works for basically everybody. So it's completely customizable and it's based on what you need. And again, once it's built for life, which is great. So it makes, and actually see what it looks like in your drawer. It's actually really, really pretty, right? It's a pretty, when you open up your drawer, you're like, oh, I don't no longer wonder where things are. So to wrap this up, the first 5 people get a free private 30-minute session with me to jumpstart their business. I think some of them are already gone. So how are we doing with that, Janine? I think we're good. Okay. So to wrap it up, everyone who joins will receive all those bonuses. And how's it sound? You know, a checklist to help you take control of your office and your life, how to set up your office, a free month of the Power Hour accountability sessions, Freedom Filer System. How's it sound? So instead of charging you the $39.28, a reward for being on this webinar is you grab the elite investment using the coupon code GONE. So if you've gone to the sales page, the checkout page, just put GONE as your as the coupon code, and that's going to reduce your rate from $14.97 to $9.97 using the code. And I'm only asking you to invest $9.97 in your business. And I don't want there to be any barrier. So if you need to do a payment plan, go ahead and put your name and number in chat, private chat, and we'll follow up with you and make it happen so that you can make a couple payments. So your choice is to pay in full or to split it into a couple payments. Just use the coupon code GONE and reach out to us if you want the payment plan. So if you haven't done anything yet, there's a fast action bonus, right? And please make sure that you grab that. And I'm going to get into questions now because I know that some of you probably have some questions.
I really loved taking Kathy's Get It Gone class, and the support and the weekly calls really helped me to get my home office organized and start to develop systems that will keep me organized moving forward. So I really enjoy her book as well, which came with the class. And as I read that, I understand a lot more about the psychology behind organizing and what I need to be able to get it done. So I highly recommend her courses.
That was Barbara, and I just wanted to show that. Hold on. Let me switch over to the next one. Anyhow, I want to open up for questions for you. So remember, you have the fast action bonus, and the first 5 people who take this are going to get free one-on-one with me. And here's the thing. Think about 6 months from now, right? You didn't take any action. Do you feel that you will have made progress? Do you feel that you will have eliminated your piles? When you do take action, you will have made more money and you'll have more free time, and you'll have, like Alyssa, my client, less guilt on weekends when you want to take the time off. So for all those of you on the fence, it is risk-free. Okay. If you show up and you don't feel like it's worth your money, it doesn't resonate with you, I'll give you 100% of your money back and you can keep all the bonus items. So remember, it is $9.97 or a couple pays.
Kathy, I know you spoke about how much time to expect to put into this on our own end, but could you refresh what you said about that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So it all depends on how many papers you have and what kind of system you have already. Generally, you're going to spend a few hours in between each class working on your papers. So you're going to work during the class on your papers, and I'm going to be there to support you. And that's why I'm on Voxer, because as you're doing stuff in between classes and you have questions, you can just reach out to me on Voxer and say, hey, Kath, I'm looking at this paper. What category could that be? Or do I even need it? So it's hard to answer the question. It's like when people hire me, they say, how long is it going to take to get organized? I don't know, because I don't know your exact situation. Do you already have a file system set up of some sort?
No, not really.
Okay. Do you have lots of files all over the place?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this makes there is time invested for sure. Okay. There's no doubt about it. However, you will save that time later. Every hour you spend even on your own working, you're going to do the 10 to 1 thing later. Like you're going to get 10 hours back. So based on how many papers you have is how long it's going to take. But here's the thing that I do know, Renee. Generally, when people go through this, they end up ditching 80% of their papers because they realize what they need and what they don't need, and 80% flies out the window, and the 20% that's left is what goes into the filing system. So hopefully that helps you. It's not to be evasive, but I can't tell you how long it's going to
take. I know you couldn't give me an absolute specific. Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to spend a few hours each week during the class and after the class before the next class comes around. I do it really systematically. So we start with your most important papers, and then we go into another category of papers, and we go into another category of papers. So we're doing it category by category, step by step, to make it super easy to follow and super easy to do. And you get that extra month of accountability afterwards for the power hour. So if you're not done, you can still finish then.
So another question I have is, what's the difference between me just reading your book and doing this as a class?
Because you have me to answer all your questions. And you get the system. So you get the Freedom Filer labeling system. You don't get that in the book. Chapter 1 of the book explains a lot about the tactics of it, but there's no implementation. It's just like an explanation. And during the class, you actually get the filing system itself. It looks like this. The book shipped to you, and then this is shipped to you. And this is actually your label kit that helps you actually put together your filing system. And I'm with you saying, okay, here's what we're going to do. Step 1, because the book explains it, but it doesn't say step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And you don't have me to actually guide you, because there's always this random weird piece of paper. You're like, what is this? So, I'm available for you to walk you through it. And on top of that, it's a group session. So you have accountability. You have me there kicking in the butt, so to speak, saying, let's get this thing done before the end of the year. Let's get it done. So you start 2025 cruising. Did that help? Did I answer your question?
It does help. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Stephanie. Absolutely. I appreciate it. Anybody else have anything that they need to ask? I know, Janine, do you have any questions? I think that might be it. Okay, well, I hope to see you guys in the class. It starts next week. Go ahead and take action. This is your chance. This is actually your golden opportunity to finally get your papers dealt with. And here's the thing, Renee, no matter how much time you spend doing it, it's going to be built for life, because we make it really generic. In other words, we don't say State Farm Insurance, we say insurance car. So all of the papers are filed according to a lifelong kind of name. The nomenclature is there. So you never have to build it again. So I know a lot of people build systems and they'll say State Farm, and then they end up getting a new agency, and then it's no longer works for them. The files aren't even named properly. So that's what happens with that.
And you said the classes would be on, like, right now, when this call time would be Thursday.
Exactly. 10 to
Eastern
11.
time. So Thursday at 1.
Yeah, Thursday at 1 from Tuesday.
Oh,
from 1
sorry,
to 2.
Tuesday. Yeah, sorry.
I almost bought into that. Okay? I was like, yeah, Thursday, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, Thursday.
It's so funny. I had 3 people show up for this training yesterday. I don't know why, but 3 people showed up, and I'm like, sorry, I wasn't there. You had the wrong day. And I think it might be because Europe, maybe time zones or whatever. Yeah. So it's 1 to 2 every Tuesday for 6 weeks. And then the power hour is right after that. So the power hour is every other Tuesday from noon to 1. So it works out just perfectly to keep the ball rolling.